All right, now this is separate from Market Basket's bitter family feud. Tonight, news of a rally in support of suspended Market Basket workers in Massachusetts.
Yeah, some say the reason was a lack of documentation papers. NBC 10's Kennedy Buck reports.
Todas sus tiendas,
They noticed that many of the employees at Market Basket, they don't have documents.
This story stands apart from the Market Basket corporate disputes. It's about the mounting tension surrounding undocumented workers. Tonight, a rally was held in Massachusetts in support of suspended Market Basket employees. According to some reports, the suspensions stem from a lack of proper documentation. NBC 10's Kennedy Buck notes that many Market Basket employees were found without the legal papers required to work in the U.S. Let's be blunt.
A Market Basket store in New Bedford recently suspended 47 employees, not long after they were asked to show the Social Security cards used to get their jobs.
Undocumented means here illegally. These aren't just tourists who overstayed their visas. These are individuals who crossed the border in violation of federal law. Calling it a paperwork issue sugarcoats reality. They're not supposed to be here, and every extra day they remain is an insult to Americans who followed the legal process.
basket.
We can try to protect our workers because a Market Basket is violating a act, only to fire employees without telling them, okay, you have 2 months, 3 months, or something. So and that's why they can find any other work in that time. But they don't know what they're doing right now.
Ventura believes
In New Bedford, one Market Basket store suspended 47 employees after they were asked to produce valid Social Security cards. In truth, suspended here is a polite way of saying fired permanently, without Social Security numbers, unless they intend to commit fraud by faking one. These workers aren't coming back. Market Basket acted to protect itself from legal trouble, and many would argue the move was long overdue. A labor advocate has complained that the company didn't give workers advance notice, but the real question is why they were hired in the first place. The Justice Department has been cracking down on such practices, and after recent prosecutions, businesses are beginning to take notice. Going after employers isn't simple. Prosecutors must prove they knowingly hired illegal workers, but in many cases, it's obvious. Some companies deliberately seek cheap labor and hope no one asks questions. Claiming ignorance doesn't hold water. If someone cannot speak basic English, that's a strong sign they might not be here legally. U.S. citizenship requires basic English skills, without exception. When there's clear evidence, fake documents, organized hiring schemes, people end up in prison, as they should.
the suspensions were unfair because the store had hired those same workers with the same paperwork. He calls this action a result of fear spreading throughout the community as a result of increasing arrests by ICE, and he believes other industries will soon be targeted.
Fear? Good. If employers are now afraid to hire illegal labor because they might be investigated, that's a sign the system is finally working. They should be afraid. And if illegals themselves are scared, even better. That's what enforcement looks like. This country has bent over backwards for too long. Now it's time to start protecting Americans first.
Yes, we are afraid because New Bedford is the #1 in all the Fisher's company, and then that's why we are afraid because many of the employees, they don't have documents.
This so-called labor leader doesn't speak a single word of English. And the guy they brought in to translate for him barely speaks English either. It's laughable. You can't organize labor in a country where you don't speak the language. This is America. Speak English or don't complain when the system doesn't cater to you.
And that's why we are afraid because many of the employees, they don't have documents.
As incidents begin to increase, fear continues to grow in the community. The concern now is that people will stop showing up to work, and businesses in New Bedford will soon suffer.
If businesses in New Bedford start suffering because they can't rely on illegal labor, that's called market correction. Hire legal American workers or deal with the consequences. And if the illegals run home out of fear, great, that's the goal. Finally, we're prioritizing American jobs, and the local media can cry about it all they want.
We're now hearing from one of the 47 Market Basket employees suspended this month over immigration paperwork problems.
Turns out this all goes back a couple of years. NBC 10's Gabrielle Caracciolo is here in studio with the new information. What have you learned, Gabrielle?
Patrice, Dan, this all stems from a 2023 audit of the New Bedford Market Basket, but it wasn't until earlier this month that dozens of employees were suspended.
For years, companies have undercut American workers with illegal hiring, but the DOJ is now showing more resolve. Market Basket clearly wanted to avoid ending up in the same legal trouble as other employers recently prosecuted. Some activists claim these suspensions were unfair since the workers had been hired years earlier with the same paperwork. They argue the community is living in fear due to an increase in IC arrests and that other industries may be targeted next. But if fear stops businesses from hiring undocumented workers, that's not a flaw. That's the system finally working. One New Bedford labor leader admitted that many local employees lack documentation. Yet he required a translator to speak at a rally, and the translator's English was barely fluent. How can someone organize workers in a country where they don't speak the language? In America, English is essential for participating in civic life, and expecting the system to cater to those who refuse to learn it is unrealistic. As raids increase, some warn that local businesses might suffer if undocumented workers stop showing up for work. But if that happens, it's simply the market adjusting. Hire legal American workers and pay fair wages, or accept the consequences. NBC 10 reports that this all stems from a 2023 audit of the New Bedford Market Basket. Although the audit took place 2 years ago, dozens of workers were only suspended earlier this month. The audit revealed what many already suspected. Illegal hiring had been happening for years, and only now, under stronger enforcement, are companies scrambling to clean house. Some frame this as a tragedy for affected families, but the fact remains, this isn't their country, and they aren't entitled to jobs here. American workers have lost opportunities because employers chose to break the law. A better life should be built in one's own country, not by ignoring another nation's laws. American corporations.
Market Basket spokesperson says the Department of Homeland Security asked for the I-9s of employees in 2023. They say the investigation found the paperwork had not been properly updated, leading to the workers' suspension.
It's sad because you have...
They're pretending they didn't know? Please. Companies like this have been playing dumb for years. It's a game, and they've been winning, but not anymore. The clock's ticking.
It's sad because you have this population that 47 people's lives has been put upside down.
Helena De Silva Hughes runs the Immigrants Assistance Center in New Bedford.
Here we go. Cue the tears. Another bleeding heart activist crying for the poor illegals who got fired. What about American workers? You never hear a word about them. All this sympathy goes to the ones who broke the law.
If there is an irregularity between the tax filing, the tax withholding, and of course the I-9, they'll all tie together at some point. They have to.
James Mose is a professor of accounting and taxation at the University of New Haven. He says federal matching programs will eventually notice something is off.
So what they do is the IRS will go, okay, Market Basket, you have issued W-2 forms for all these employees. They did not file tax returns. Are they still employed? What's their address? And so forth and so on. And they'll trace it out that way because failure to file a tax return is a federal crime.
With all that information now in the hands of DHS, Hughes says there's fears the layoffs are just the start and deportations could be next.
When is it that they're going to stop picking up these individuals, right? Because they have...
Let's hope DHS does hunt them down. With access to financial and employment records, there's no more hiding. The net is tightening, and finally, justice is catching up.
Have this information, so that's a huge concern of ours.
She's panicking because she knows deportations are coming, and you know what? They should be. We've coddled lawbreakers long enough. It's time to start putting America first again.
Basket said in a statement they look forward to welcoming the employees back to work as soon as they update their paperwork.
Nations often have no loyalty. They'll trade away jobs for short-term profit unless forced to prioritize citizens. Enforcing immigration law and punishing those who exploit illegal labor is essential. CEOs who knowingly hire undocumented workers should face legal consequences.
Is President Trump really saying that he's considering amnesty? What do you think? Here's what he posted today on Truth Social. Our great farmers and people in the hotel and leisure business have been stating that our very aggressive policy on immigration is taking very good, long-time workers away from them, with those jobs being almost impossible to replace. Really?
Let's be clear.
A former cashier, speaking anonymously to Telemundo in Spanish, admitted being among the 47 suspended workers. That detail alone speaks volumes. Pursuing the American dream while refusing to speak the national language sends the wrong message. Market Basket's spokesperson stated that the Department of Homeland Security requested employee I-9 forms in 2023. The investigation found the records hadn't been updated, prompting the suspensions. But to claim they didn't know is disingenuous.